What's that?
Everybody's coming, leave your body at the door. Leave your body and soul at the door.
What are you singing? What is
Go
that?
run away, it's only me. Oingo Boingo.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. I fucking love Oingo Boingo.
It's so random.
Dead Man's Party. It's like a Halloween song.
I guess maybe I need to hear it. Like, do you think I've obviously heard it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I was recording that.
Good.
Good. You ready?
Yeah.
Kick
This
off.
is Tommy.
This is Jacob.
This is Tommy and Jacob's mixtape. I said I was ready, but I wasn't.
All right. Hey.
Hey, everybody. The magic of podcast editing.
Oh my. Okay. Yeah. So how's everybody doing out there? I know you can't respond back to me, but let's pretend. How about I say how are you all doing, and then you just say it to yourself. How are you all doing?
But like really loudly in the middle of the bank if you're listening to like
exactly.
headphones on. Yeah, I'm good. Lovely hat. Who was that? Oh, Daniel Tosh.
I mean, hey, that's kind of fitting for a spooky season.
Oh,
What?
I thought you meant Daniel Tosh.
Oh no, just talking to yourself and like.
Yeah, okay. That's true. I was like, yeah, Daniel, like, sure, yeah, Daniel Tosh.
Well, this week we are moving back into doing movie review from what you guys got last week, where it was both the faculty and a side B, our side banter, from our premiere. Hope you all enjoyed some of that or all of it, or if you didn't enjoy any of it, then I don't know why you're listening to us.
Go ahead and write a hateful email.
Yeah, no, I mean, go to our website, TommyandJacobsMixtape.com, go into our contact and write us a nasty review if you want.
And if you do like us and you think of movies, let us know. We're always looking for more stuff to add to our list. You could be positive about it.
It's true. You could be positive, negative. You could be indifferent.
Do what you want.
Look how much on the fence we fucking are.
Live your best life, do you?
So this week we are talking about Idle Hands, and kind of like what we did with the faculty, we're leaning into talking about how it fits into the horror genre. What about it is horror that's staying outside of like the slasher idea.
Mm-hmm. And Idle Hands is a movie I never heard about until you brought it up as an option. Because it kind of went under the... I feel like it kind of disappeared. I
mean, it's definitely more like a cult. It's definitely got a cult.
It's a culty.
It's definitely a cult following, especially like rewatching it, or kind of like watching it the first time. Because like I knew what happened in the film. Like I knew his hand gets possessed. I knew he kills his friends. I knew Jessica Alba was in it. And like I knew all of the events really, but I never actually saw it, I think. But I'd seen so many scenes from it, so I was like watching like...
Oh, like your brain put it together, basically, without actually watching it?
Yeah,
oh,
so
weird.
it's like a movie that I've always like known. I'm like, oh yeah, I like that movie, but like, I don't know, yeah, I guess maybe I like watched it with like friends at a party and we were all like smoking or drunk or
something like
just
that.
Like teenagers not paying attention to what's playing and, you know, doing whatever.
Oh, and I do want to apologize ahead of time because I think I'm going to be pretty vulgar in this one because I'm going to go ahead and call this my what the fuck movie for the year.
Your what the fuck movie for the year?
Sorry, Mom, if you're listening to this. But yeah, there was a lot of... It was like watching Ren and Stimpy. I was like,
dude, I know.
What the fuck is going on?
So good. I love it. And like, I kind of knew that it had an absurdity like this to it, but I didn't fully like grasp how far it was in this absurdity. Mm-hmm. So let's like we do, we like to start off with just some like basic facts around the movie. So like year, it came out in 1999, specifically released April 30th.
Oh wait, let me do my 10-word real quick.
Oh yes, please.
Okay. So my 10-word synopsis is: Thing's demonic cousin possesses Burnout and savagely murders everyone around him.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it. I very much like that. Yeah. No, it's like it definitely has like I was thinking Addams Family, with the hand, obviously.
That's him.
Yeah,
that is Thing.
Oh, that is the guy the actor that does.
That's all he does.
That's so great.
Yeah,
that's all he does is Thing.
Yeah, I think he's like a sleight of hand magician.
That would make sense. Oh, okay,
but that's
so great.
He's never actually been on screen. It's just his hand.
Just his hand.
Yeah,
that's so awesome.
That's right.
How did I overlook that?
I don't know.
I'm glad that you pointed that out.
I wrote it somewhere here. Oh yeah, in all caps. His what's his name? Christopher Hart. Addams Family plays a hand only. That's all he ever plays. Anyways, go ahead, Terry.
Yeah. All right. So on IMDb, it's got a 6.2 rating, and it for the year it came out in 1999. It didn't do well in the box office.
What number is it?
Number 162.
162?
Yeah.
I think that's the lowest one we've ever done.
It is definitely the lowest one we've ever done so far. Which, I mean, it's like, it doesn't surprise me because, I mean, the big following for this movie really is Devon Sawa and Jessica Alba.
Oh, and Seth Green.
And I guess Seth Green too, but Seth Green was kind of starting to get popular now. Like, I don't think he hadn't been on Buffy yet because his big notoriety started with Buffy and Family Guy.
Yeah, well, because he's in the Buffy movie.
Yeah,
and then he's in the Buffy show.
He's in the Buffy the Vampire. Yeah. What? Who? As who?
I don't know.
Was he just like a side character, real quick?
Yeah, I was like, it was confusing because when I was looking up his stuff, I saw Buffy. I had to like kind of dig a little bit. Oh, drop that. But yeah, he's in Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie along with Ben Affleck.
Oh, interesting.
Which I didn't know. And he's also in Buffy and Angel, the TV series.
Yeah, because he plays a werewolf, and he was Willow's love interest before she came out a lesbian.
Yeah, his name's like Oz or something.
Yeah,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
those are like the three main.
Yeah, and then his other big claim to fame around this time would be Can't Hardly Wait, that party movie.
Oh yeah,
where he gets locked in the bathroom with the girl that they hate each other, and they end up actually realizing that they like each other.
Yeah,
dude, I love that movie too. Can't Hardly Wait's great.
I've never seen it.
Jennifer Love Hewitt. It's.
Oh, I see why you love it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So top 10 movies of this year to kind of give so we got the top 10 movies. I also just kind of put down also other popular movies that aren't horror movies that kind of fill in the genre of what Idle Hands is, because Idle Hands is it's a horror definitely, but it's also very much comedy and very teen comedy at that as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So top 10 movies of the year was number 1, Star Wars Phantom Menace. Me see no likey. Sorry, I had to. Why? Number 2, Sixth Sense. Number 3, Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me. Number 4, Toy Story 2. Number 5, The Matrix. Number 6, Tarzan. Number 7, Big Daddy. Number 8, The Mummy. Number 9, Runaway Bride. And number 10, The Blair Witch Project. Which actually, I didn't realize The Blair Witch Project to be so high up on this thing.
For some reason, I didn't realize the Blair Witch Project was so old.
Oh yeah, that's also I love that movie too.
I've watched it like twice, and I don't really watch it.
It's I definitely I watched it when I was young. This is also one of the first one of the scary movies that really freaked me out too. But I watched
Witch?
Yeah, I watched it when it came out. So I was
Blair Witch the first time is terrifying.
Yeah. No, exactly. The first time it's terrible. Also, I've tried to show it to friends, but if you don't have a good sound system, if you're just listening to it through really crappy TV speakers, it loses so much effect.
Oh, kind of like what I was saying about Parasite.
Yeah, exactly.
You lose an ambiance factor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because there's the twig snapping around, and then when the kids when the ghost children are attacking the tent and whatnot that they're in, all of that just oh well, okay. Although the ending of that movie was it haunted me.
Yeah.
I was scared to go down in basements for a minute.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's an idea of top selling movies around the year. And then movies that kind of came that were same year for this that, Never Been Kissed, 10 Things I Hate About You, American Pie.
Never Been Kissed, is that the Drew Barrymore one?
Yeah, that's the one where she goes back into high school as a journalist.
Right, okay.
Falls in love with the teacher.
That's a cute movie.
Yeah, it is a really cute movie.
That's a really cute movie.
Jawbreaker and Cruel Intentions, which those two kind of fit more into this, not necessarily horror, but And
Jawbreaker's where they kill the friend.
Yeah, they kill the prom queen on accident with putting a jawbreaker in her mouth.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and that's kind of a thriller horror comedy-ish
thing. Dark
comedy. And then Cruel Intentions is just a sexual thriller about high school students.
Cruel Intentions is cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so do you want to pick up with director and everything?
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's see. Let's start off with the writers.
You want to start with the writers?
Yeah.
I didn't really notice really much from them.
Well, yeah. Their names were Terry Hughes Burton and Ron Mailbauer. I want to say is how you say it, Mailbauer. They seem to be more like episodic writers for a plethora of shows, but they also seem to work together a lot on the same shows. Some things they work, because even then, if you look at it, it's 1 episode to 5 episodes depending on what it was. The 100, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Eureka, Quantum Break, stuff like that. But it's really scattered around, and they've just been on the scene for years.
Yeah, 100%. And it also looks like a lot of the things that they end up being a writer on, they end up also like doing doing a lot lot of producing with as well. So
they kind of have their fingers in a lot of pies, kind of thing.
Fingers on hands. Sorry. It's actually Idle Hands is kind of like a weird one-off for them. Like,
yeah, it's a little bit like off the beaten path of what they usually.
Yeah, but also it still kind of fits though, because like they're doing like the whole like they worked on like Supernatural and stuff, so they have like that horror feel.
Yeah, they got the spooky.
Yeah, but there was something. Where is it? Maybe it's the director I was thinking about. I think it is the director, because I think the director. Are you already moving?
Yeah, yeah, that was all I had up.
The director of Rodman Flender. Party of Five. He directed an episode of Dawson's Creek. Like, he also seems to be a lot more like episodic director as well in TV movie stuff. Like,
yeah, which is kind of interesting that all three to get 3 people that are really just more episodic, short kind of term things, and then get them into a full-fledged movie. But then when you actually watch the movie, that kind of makes sense for how it, which we can get into later, but how it unravels, I guess.
Yeah, it kind of does. It unravels. I mean, it's got a very succinct, straight storyline to tell.
Yeah, but it's weirdly timed out.
I see what you mean. Yeah,
we can talk about that in a minute. But yeah, when we get to it later. But yeah, just how they write, and then how he directs. You're kind of like, I don't know. Like, I guess long story short, I can kind of see that they do more episodic things. Yeah.
One of the things that I actually looked into the producers for this one, because I was kind of interested, and it feels like there's 2 people that produced it: Susan Todd and Jennifer Todd. And they produced like Memento, Across the Universe. Let's get to the bottom here. They seem like they've produced a lot of stuff together as well. So I feel like, they both like helped produce Austin Powers, the first Austin Powers, and the Spy Who Shagged Me same year. And Now and Then. One of them produced the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie. But yeah, they kind of like seem to do a lot of producing together, and I feel like they had a little bit more of a hand in the creation of this, and like in for the production and whatnot. Just looking at what their credits have and whatnot.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And I just think it's kind of funny. There's 2 mentions to Mighty Morphin Power Rangers on here. You said they helped produce the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie?
The movie, yeah.
Oh, that'd be a fun one to do. Anyway, sorry.
But yeah, so I mean, I mean, it's really strange that it's. I mean, that's why what I was saying earlier is like it really feels like the drawing force for this movie was Devon Sawa and Jessica Alba. Yeah, Seth Green. I mean, Vivica A. Fox is in it.
Yeah, for like a minute.
Yeah, but she has kind of an important part.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and then what was that other gentleman's name?
Oh, what was it?
Eldon Henson.
Yes.
Which I really only remembered him from Butterfly Effect.
He's Foggy in Daredevil.
Oh yeah, he is, huh? Yeah. I don't think I got that far on his list.
He's also the bad boy in the Mighty Ducks.
I've actually never seen the Mighty Ducks.
What?
I watched the cartoon.
Whoa.
Do you remember the cartoon with the space ducks?
Uh-huh.
That was they were space ducks, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was cool.
Wow, you've never seen the Mighty Ducks. I don't know how to process that fully.
You need a minute? You need a breather?
I need to hit my jewel.
And I kind of like to do this just for context. I like to look up reviews, and sometimes it's actually really hard to find reviews on.
I'm actually really curious because I want you to read the talk to your reviews because I think what we're going into next is going to be what my review would be.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So I usually write down 2 reviews. I try to find one positive, one negative. Sometimes it's pretty hard. So this one comes from Roger Ebert, which I was really like okay. And let me know what you think. Anyways, quote unquote, Idle Hands samples other teen horror movies like a video DJ with a tape deck. Exhibiting high spirits and a crazed comic energy. It doesn't quite work, but it goes down swinging with a disembodied hand. I was like,
yeah,
that's...
What did he give it for like stars or anything, like a rating? Did you already say that?
No, I didn't write that down. I just
okay.
wrote down the actual... I think it's like a 3
out of 5 or something. Like
3.5. Yeah, 3 out of 5 or something like that. And then Lawrence Van Gelder from the New York Times. This one's... I was like, ouch. Even pretentiousness around the humorous and himp cannot save this blood-drenched film from its innate tastelessness, calculated to find its audience among those, like its heroes and friends, whose vapid lives are a celebration of truancy, marijuana, and junk food in a virtually parentless habitat that stretches only from bed to television set. I was like,
I mean, he's not wrong.
He's not, but I was. But also, this was really fun too because the other ones we've done, I've seen the movies, so I had more of a context for the reviews. This one I had never ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
So
did you read the reviews before you watched it?
Yeah, I read the reviews. I got everything like set up, and then I watched it, and then did like my screening notes. But I mean, like, I was actually kind of surprised how, in a weird way, Roger Ebert's was
like precise. What?
like,
Say that
nice.
Again. Nice. Okay.
Like,
well, I mean, it's a fun movie.
Well, because it's just the ending too. It doesn't quite work, but it goes down swinging. Like it tried.
No, exactly. And like the ending,
gave it a little bit of credit.
The ending, and like I kind of have a little bit of like a defense for the ending, but like also the ending of the movie, it fits for this movie. And who was the second reviewer?
Lawrence Van Gelder.
Cool. I'm not gonna repeat that. I can't say it. Lawrence Van Gelder.
Gelder.
Okay. No, like as I was like rewatching this, I was like, oh, this is 100% just a stoner movie.
Yeah.
This is it's a stoner horror comedy.
Yeah.
Which is what makes it like classic, a cult classic. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, so it was just fun the entire time and ridiculous.
I mean, yeah, but I gotta say too that the reason I keep talking about like Seth Green is number one, I just love the guy. He just has had a really interesting career. And he's really there's another podcast. What's it called? Oh, You Made It Weird with Pete Holmes.
Oh yeah. Oh, I think I listened to that one.
Yeah, him and Seth Green have like an interview and they talk. And Seth Green just seems like a really cool, down to earth dude.
Yeah.
But him and Eldon Henson, in my opinion, are the funniest thing about the movie.
Oh, dude, yeah, no, they're just like constantly ruining making everything worse. Like trying to, even if they're trying to help, they're just
which they rarely are.
Yeah. Like they're definitely just like every step of the way they just make it go more awry.
Yeah, and it's like it would have been just their like chemistry and their back to back their energy together on screen. If you didn't have them, this movie would have been a complete and utter. It would just been completely different, and I think they salvage a lot of it.
I also want to add in like their chemistry with Devon Sawa as well. Because Devon Sawa, I feel like he actually does a really good job carrying this movie with his physical performance.
I actually made a note of that. But yeah, I was going to ask you about how you felt he did the possession.
I thought it was great. Like, from a guy that's most popular for like Final Destination and
Casper.
Oh, no, Casper.
On-screen Casper. Not
he's the on-screen Casper. And then like he was in Little Giants. And he was like had a part in Now and Then. Like this is all leading up to
He's an SLC punk.
Yeah, I couldn't remember which character he is.
He's Sean.
I don't remember who that is.
Oh,
I haven't seen the movie in a long time.
He's the one that runs through the field with like 30 tabs of acid in his pocket.
Oh, and the sprinklers turn on. Yeah. That's right.
How you doing that, man? Doing what? Standing on water like that, man.
Yeah. But I know, like. I was really surprised. There's definitely there's definitely moments when I was watching it where it's like he's a little too out of control and overdoing it, but it also kind of adds to the absurdity of this film.
Oh, Sawa.
Yeah,
and his physical.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And what we mean by that too is like if you haven't seen it, the hand does end up getting possessed, and it does the classic, think of Jim Carrey and the Claw from Liar Liar.
Yeah, that's a good one. I was thinking also not to like definitely nowhere in the same ballpark as like physical like performance, but Jim Carrey and Me, Myself, and Irene, when he's like picking himself up and carrying himself.
Yeah, when he's like fighting himself.
Yeah.
Oh god, that was a great scene. Yeah. So that's like what he's doing, and he actually does it pretty well.
Yeah, he does. No, like it's definitely a good highlight of the film. Like
it's good to be really young,
like
nimble. Like
right?
try and do that now.
It's like when he's fighting with his own hand, like the possessed hand and his real hand are fighting over the remote. Like that entire scene of just like the back and forth. Actually, it's a very slapstick, very like commedia dell'arte like joke.
Yeah,
like set up for a joke and whatnot.
Yeah, and they're switching between shows with hands in it and then cartoons back and forth. So the TV
it was like horror with like a hand, and then they had
like Looney Tunes.
And so let's start switching to the character names. Devon Sawa.
Devon Sawa
is Anton. And yeah, they're switching back and forth until finally the hand wins, he wins. So then the hand grabs his cat Bones and throws it out the window across the street.
Just like a lasso with the tail.
So really quick, just like a rundown for character names. There's Devon Sawa's Anton. Seth Green is Mick. Eldon
Henson,
thank you, is Nub.
Yeah,
Nub. It's a P Nub, and they actually pronounce the P in it. Nub. Jessica Alba's Molly. Vivica A. Fox plays Debbie LeCure, which I kind of like that name. She's the Cure.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
And then there was also the other guy, Randy. I didn't notice that actor.
He's
really from.
Let me just give me one sec. He's been around for a long time.
He kind of looked familiar, yeah.
He hasn't really been anything. His name is Randy, right?
Yeah.
Jack Noseworthy. Wow, what a great name.
Really?
Jack Noseworthy. He's been in some stuff. I think is he in Dead Poets Society? I think that was one thing that really stood out to me. I mean, actually, it's one of those once you see him, I think you'll kind of recognize him because he's been around for a long time. Oh no, he wasn't in Dead Poets Society. What was he in? I just saw a picture of him wearing like a
jacket,
schoolboy uniform. But yeah, there's nothing really that stuck out to me either. But
yeah,
he's been around forever.
There's one great cameo in it. That's Dexter from The Offspring. Oh, the Offspring themselves.
Is that actually them?
Yeah, that's Offspring performing
at the end.
And at the school dance.
The school dance.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I guess I don't know what they look like.
Yeah. No, that's what the lead singer of Offspring looks like.
What is up with the '90s and blonde?
Oh, dude, are you kidding me?
Spiky blonde.
Yeah, it was hot.
No, it's not.
Everybody wanted to look like
a porcupine.
No, the idea comes from like a LA surfer dude.
That's what Fallon said too. I was like, that's not what they look like.
Well, that's what the media made them look like, so that's what everybody wanted to fucking look like.
Jesus.
I did the black spiky hair. Thank you. I dyed my hair black all the time.
Yeah, you lived in Spokane though.
Yeah.
I don't know. Dark. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. I was trying to think of a joke. Nothing.
It's like, okay, you can only make fun of Spokane if you can figure out how to make fun of Spokane, right?
give me a minute in the middle. Just be like, I got it.
All right, so let me go into my review, unless you have anything else you want to bring up before we start talking more about the film.
I don't think so. No, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, cool.
So I feel like mine's kind of a good blend between both of those reviews. Oh, no, I don't really talk anything negative about it.
No, I'm usually the more negative one. I feel like I have the two of them.
I mean, it depends what it is.
Yeah, true.
All right, so because I'm also comparing this to like it being in the horror genre for around this time, so like that's kind of what this lead up is all about.
Okay.
So the movie hits all the like setup points for like a regular horror film, but instead of leaning into the scare, it leans into the absurdity of the situations, playing on the comedy with some more slapstick and over exaggerated moments, like when the cops are killed or the entire character of Debbie LeCure. Beginning with the parents, the movie establishes a sense of horror and goofiness that it doesn't let go of, making this movie a fun and a disturbing ride from beginning to end.
Yeah, I think that's really good. How long did it take you to write that?
I don't know, like 5 minutes.
Nice.
So also like to carry on with that also, because I also like to look at like the main character and like their arc of it, because Anton's, I mean, it's kind of like the journey that we're going on is Anton's journey, you know, from being possessed and whatnot. And it's really, this is where it kind of like, meh, okay, but it just makes for a fun movie. Is Anton's arc is pretty simple, you know, stop being a lazy stoner and actually do something, anything, just get the fuck off the couch.
Idle hands.
Right.
Idle hands do the devil's work.
Yeah. By being possessed, he is forced to rise to the occasion and stop his evil hand from killing his girlfriend of less than 24 hours. I do find it very disturbing how quickly him and Molly just like...
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. No, exactly.
The timing of it. Because like the entire timing of the movie was so weird. I got like into 45 minutes and was like, what the fuck else can happen? Like where else is this going to go? And
it goes all over the place.
It just keeps going.
Yeah, no, exactly. But it does a really good job right at the beginning of setting up, like when I talk about the parents, like it has like with Fred Willard and I can't remember the actress's name off the top of my head, but there's like what they're talking about is like, you know, talk about Thanksgiving, cornucopia and all that stuff, but like it's like their conversation's a little light and kind of funny, you know, and goofy and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then like
Connie Ray,
thank you.
Her name.
And then you get the I'm under the bed, you know,
with the black light
with
paint.
the black light paint, yeah, and whatnot, or the glow in the dark light, and then it does that classic, you know, beginning horror film. The first 7 minutes of it is like a scary part of leading up to like there is murder happening, there's horror happening, but it's also got like an absurdity to it that like it sets up the film really, really well in that way.
Well, yeah, and also something like even before that too, the intro just when it, you know, has a Devon Sawa.
Oh yeah, the opening credits were cool.
Were really dated, but they were really cool, especially for that era.
Yeah.
And also
it was almost like a Rob Zombie music video.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, because again, I went into this really thinking it was going to be more of like almost like, I guess America, because of the cast and everything. I thought it was going to be kind of like an American Pie horror movie in the sense it was going to be really, really, really just kind of silly. Mm-hmm. But then with that intro, I was like,
no, it's actually really dark.
Oh, this is darker than I thought it was going to be. And even with the first scene when the parents are dying, it was higher quality than I assumed it was going to be.
Like, what do you mean higher quality?
Just like the shots and the sets in the house and just everything. I was just very kind of like, oh, okay, this doesn't look like college made, you know, like I kind of expected almost to look like Evil Dead.
Oh, really?
It's really low budget looking, and I was like, oh, it's not as low budget as I thought it.
No, actually, some of the special effects in it, like with Nub walking around with his head, were like actually pretty solid.
Yeah,
like,
they're pretty good.
Like really, and also really amusing. Also, I watched the scene over and over again when he's sitting there with his head upside down, smoking out of that goddamn bong or pipe or whatever. I was sitting there, I'm like, how the hell are they actually doing this?
How are they doing that? Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what? It was really, it looked real.
Yeah, it was really good.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Like, how did they do that?
Yeah, I mean, so it's really like the absurdity of this film is what I think makes it the cult following.
Yeah.
You know, because it has like good horror, like when it's building up to like the hand possessing him, like when you finally see the hand, like because when you finally see the hand possess Anton is when he kills his friends. It's like there's this whole like when he discovers his parents dead, and then they kind of like it kind of puts it all together like, oh, he killed his parents, but he doesn't have any recollection of it. You know,
which was funny too because the only reason is because he was just listening to music too loud in his headphones.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, because I was even sitting there, like, how the fuck did this thing like drag him around and he had no? They were screaming,
which also lends into the absurdity of this film. Mm-hmm. Like there's so many like weird like, nonsensical things that it's like it lives outside of normal reality.
Yeah.
which horror movies do. So it's like this movie just pretty much like it's like, well, horror movies already live in a world that really is outside of our reality.
Yeah.
You know, like slasher film, any slasher film and whatnot, and just they were just went and ran with that because like there's no like full true explanation how his friends come back as undead.
Yeah, it does.
Kind of.
They straight up say it.
No, yeah, it's like yeah, we didn't want to walk towards the light.
Yeah. So lazy stoner movie.
Yeah, exactly. They don't want to walk towards the light, but so their bodies are just reanimated, like how? Like, no, like which also no.
I was totally fine with that
No,
explanation.
I was completely. I mean, it's like you just kind of roll with it because it's like it's funny that you know, like the one reason it's like if we were to die right now, it's like I don't want to go to the light.
Yeah,
and then we just wake back up, dead still, but like not like because they're not zombies.
No, they're undead.
Yeah. It's fucking ridiculous.
It's really ridiculous. Just when Seth Green wakes up, or what's his name, Mick, when he wakes up again. Come on, man, it's really hard to breathe down here.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just like
muffled through the dirt.
I think that was the point. Once he ended up killing the two friends, I went, what else can happen? I was like, half the cast is like gone already. Like all you have left is Sawa and Alba, really. And then I was like, oh
yeah,
okay.
And then the fucking shenanigans of those two while they're undead, like,
oh wait, what was it? Oh, where is it? Oh, like in the very beginning when it's like talking. That made me laugh pretty hard. When they are introducing that Anton is a lazy piece of shit stoner dude basically, and he calls up his friend to get some weed because he's out.
Yo, I'm dry.
Yeah, yo, I'm dry. He's like, come on, like, bring it over. And it's just, I think it's Seth Green. He goes, this ain't Domino's, you lazy bitch. I don't know why that made me laugh so hard. But I just really, and then click. He's all offended.
Yep. And then he just goes over in his fucking boxers,
climbs through the window. Like,
dude, that like a lot of that also reminded me and my friends when we were in high school.
In the basement smoking weed.
Not just that, but like living so close to like some of my friends, like walking down in your pajamas or like literally in your boxers, just like on a skateboard, just like, yo, what's up? I do like what was really great with the friends when they are being reanimated is there was a strange, like there was a good sense of like actual like horror through it.
Oh, because the way they're getting up,
yeah,
you know,
like,
they're.
Where did I have a note for it somewhere? No, yeah. So it was like the way that they're reanimated.
Well, yeah, because there's like the lighting and the way. Because first Seth Mick gets out.
Well, it was also like, but like how you were talking earlier when it's like you hear him through the like ground, like it's hard to breathe down here, man. And like his hand comes out first while like Anton's like face is right there next to it.
Yeah.
So it's got a cool like rising of the dead, like coming out of like the grave, the ground and whatnot. Is that what you were about to say?
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, like Thriller music video.
Yeah, Thriller, and
when he's coming up and his shoulders are all hunched.
Yeah, no, there's actual like it's scary because it looks like Mick has like a disgruntled look on his face as he's coming up.
Yeah, zombie look.
Yeah. And then Benub's head just like, hey man, watch out! Like, don't step on me.
Yeah, and just gets up with the shovel and like
his body like knocks him. Yeah. And which then it's like has like that sense of like it builds that tension of like, oh dude, like they're gonna kill him,
yeah,
and whatnot, and then he just wakes up and they're just sitting on the fucking couch just like being stoners.
Yeah. Did you think it was also weird that they took him up all the way up to his attic basement?
No, that was just in the living room.
No, I thought he was in the attic again.
No, I think that was just his living room.
Oh.
No, yeah, that was just living because that's where the cops come in.
Oh, okay.
Like Mick's just throwing cheesy puffs into a fucking disembodied head.
Yeah.
God.
Something also like when it goes into the horror genre in this movie is surprisingly violent.
Yeah.
I was really like, whoa.
I made a death count.
Oh, you did?
And a death list.
I started to, but then I lost track at a certain point.
It's actually not that big.
Well, I kind of stopped counting when a bunch of the teenagers at the dance died. I was like, I'm not going to count.
Only a couple of them died. So.
Well, they dropped a thing.
Yeah, it's like, I counted like 3 or 4.
Oh.
And then also with that, it was like they didn't really actually show if they died or not. So that's kind of like maybe they're dead, but that's also like a really heavy like light thing. It's like there was no blood splatter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the ones that we actually see on screen, more or less, well, I guess one of them's off screen, but we see the blood from is Anton's parents.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 2. And then Mick and Pnub. So that's 4. And then the 2 cops. So 6. The 2 making out. 8.
Oh, yeah. The classic booby shot.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
very, very nice booby shot.
I was like, okay, well, there you go. There's that. To fit into with the slasher thing, you need the booby shot.
I mean, that's also very common in just like horror around that time.
Yeah.
You know, the gratuitous nudity.
For pretty much no reason other than to have it.
Yep. But I mean, you know, it's also like there's an entire article like or in reviews like written about this that like the death scenes with the nudity it's a really good like example of just like you're at your most vulnerable when you're nude, so it makes most sense for you to be killed. So like that's why if you get naked, you're going to die. It's not just like, oh, it's a fun thing. It's like they have just become the most vulnerable that they will ever be.
Oh, you mean like the Scream rules kind of thing?
Yeah. So it's like they have now just become the most vulnerable that they will ever be in this film. Therefore, they must die. Okay, so that's 8. And then the principal, which is 9. Principal who's on a sex hotline. Which was really I like how it starts off with the arguing. You're like, oh man, what's going on here? And he's like, oh yeah, you're a bad girl.
I want to spank you with my ruler.
You're just like, oh god.
Yeah, that was one of those. Real quick, that was one of those. There's a couple of references in here that really showed how kind of dated the movie is in a lot of ways. That was one of them to me. They even talked about the Red Shoe Diaries.
Oh yeah.
For a split second, I was wow, this movie's old.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
1999, baby. All right. And then Dexter from Offspring. So we're at 10 now, right? 1, 2.
He didn't die necessarily.
Yeah, he died. He got his head ripped. He got the top of his head ripped
his
off.
Scalp ripped off.
Yeah, he's dead.
Okay.
It's a horror movie. He's dead.
Okay. Fine, we'll count him.
So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then Tanya, Molly's friend. 11. And then maybe 3 or 4 kids, so 13 or 14, 15 from the lights coming down, and then the 4 extra that were killed before the movie even started: the mailman, the barmaid at the bowling alley, and the Felsenstein twins.
So what? 17?
Up to 17, yeah.
Up to 17.
It's a pretty good death count.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of like. Because the movie itself I kind of feel like the movie itself wasn't very scary. It kind of became scary because of the gore aspect to it mainly.
Yeah, it's like, I wouldn't really say it's not scary by any means, but they use the like horror tropes and like the horror style to like build to build tension. But then instead of it doing like a big scare on you, it leans into the absurdity of the comedy of it and makes it more like so you laugh at it instead.
Yeah,
Well,
like when he makes the blood and bologna sandwich.
Yeah,
it's like a gross ugh.
It's gross. But it's got that tense because the knife is flinging around. It's got the music around it. It's like building up that tension. The camera angles are changing on it and whatnot. And then he realizes, and it's like you see real fear in him. But then you're also kind of like laughing at it because like, how can this kid make an entire bologna sandwich without realizing he's using a bloody knife?
Yeah, a bloody serrated bread knife.
Yeah, exactly.
Then looks down and sees the cat licking that eyeball, and yeah, there's just like a really large level of absurdity to it. And when I was talking about like the timing too, because even within the first 15 minutes, let's say, is the murder of the parents, and then it kind of goes into this lull. And then it spikes back up again with the murder of the 2 friends. Mm-hmm. And then you have like another hour and 20 minutes where you're sitting there like, what?
Well, I mean, there's the murder of the cops, happens, which spawns him chopping off his hand.
Oh, yeah, that was brutal too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how I forgot about that one.
Oh, geez. Yeah, that's like a big part of the entire movie.
Yeah.
Because it's a crazy thing is like, as in like a horror movie, generally like the horror builds and like it's scarier and scarier as you go on. like this movie and like it the absurdity and goofiness and ridiculousness of this movie just keeps building and building and building and building. So it's like you find out, oh, maybe he killed his parents. Oh, but his hand is possessed. Oh, and then he kills his friends and they get reanimated. And then he like tries to, stop, idle hands busy thing. But what is that? What is that quote?
Idle hands do the devil's work.
Thank you. When he talks with Randy, because Randy apparently is a Satan cult because he listens to heavy metal and wears
Black Sabbath.
Yeah, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
This movie's so 1999. And then then he kills the cops, which the cop killing scene was so over the top and ridiculous.
Well, that's the thing with the violence in general. It jumped like from Seth because you kind of don't really see how the parents are murdered. The first one you actually see murdered is Seth Green, and he gets somehow a bottle popped through his skull.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, that's not okay. But at that point, the level of violence is just shoots up and then it just stays there.
Yeah.
It never really gets that much more on-screen violent. It just
I don't know.
stays at that level of, okay, this is how violent this movie is going to be until the very end. And you're like, okay.
I mean, there's definitely a lot more blood splattering and whatnot. And like,
well, I just mean like the execution of the murders are all these ridiculously horrid. Like,
also, it's like I love how he stabs the knitting needle through one of the cops' heads, like ear to ear, and then uses it and then
melts the other face.
Melts the other one's face with a taser. Like, what kind of cop has a taser that strong?
I don't know what a taser does to your face.
But so yeah, like it that then. So yeah, he's like, you know what, I'm done with this. So he decides to chop off his hand.
Oh, that was a fun.
That totally reminded me of Evil Dead.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I just think it was fun too because he starts off with a bagel guillotine.
Oh yeah, that doesn't work.
Well, because even the friend says that doesn't even cut my bagels.
Yeah. Are you really good? It doesn't even cut my bagels, man.
Then they go with a turkey carver, like a electric turkey carver.
I'm Leatherface. Oh.
But then, like, all they do is he pulls it too far and it unplugs from the wall.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Just plug it back in, you stoner.
No, because
idiot.
the cord isn't gonna reach. But like, no, it's literally just a physical gag.
Yeah.
It's like, and it's like a lot of the times it's like in between these moments of like extreme gore and horror, they have these ridiculous moments of just stupid comedy,
stupidity,
and it's like, which is what makes it a great stoner film.
Yeah, no, it's like, I actually really thoroughly enjoyed it, but it's like also because then after that, that's when he grabs the meat cleaver.
Yeah, and then
finally does the deed.
No, but the cat and mouse that like him like trying to chop it off and he can't catch his own hand.
Oh yeah,
and
that's another like good hand gag like with a remote.
Yeah,
back
exactly.
And forth.
Mm-hmm.
But also I was just watching it and I was just like, okay, so bagel guillotine, electric turkey carver or meat cleaver. Start with the meat cleaver. That's going to be the most quick.
Well, you got to have a build.
I know, but I was just like, oh, I can't watch this. Especially when they pulled out the turkey carver. I was like, no. No.
But it is great, like, when he finally, like, chops the hand off and then Seth Green runs over and gets the iron and, like, solderizes the wound.
The unplugged iron.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was plugged in and hot before, okay? You know how hot those irons stay? They don't just immediately cool down.
Okay, I'm just...
Like, you're like, yeah, was it plugged in the entire time?
Yeah, I'm like...
Stoners, yes, maybe it was.
What stoner irons?
Maybe they were going to use it to light up a bowl.
Actually, I could totally see getting stoned and be like, I'm going to iron my shirts. But I'm also... I'm almost 30, so that's... It's like teenager stoner probably doesn't do that.
Like, who knows? It works for the movie.
Yes,
right now,
it
does. Yeah, so and then the hand finally gets free, and this is like when the hand actually comes alive.
When it's a disembodied, possessed hand.
Yeah, so it's like this absurdity just keeps getting more and more and more, and then so for like getting even more absurd, he's like, oh, it's like Molly's outside trying to get his attention, and he's like, no, hold on a second.
Yeah, because at this point
like,
they had slept together.
Yeah.
And
God,
that entire I hated that entire thing.
In her bedroom,
that whole thing, just that you're hiding in my bush. I was like,
yeah.
Oh my God.
Just checking your bush. That's all.
And then like
And then he like slaps her ass. She's like, "Oh, I didn't know you would actually get this aggressive." It's like, whoa!
And the entire time the hand's trying to like choke her.
Yeah,
like,
and then he ties his hand to the bed.
Kinky.
Yeah, yeah, very very one dimensional character for Miss Jessica Alba there. But also it's the 90s. So I mean, continuing with like the building of this absurdity is like, chops off his hand, he puts it in the microwave, which you think could be the end of it. And then again, like also like his fucking friends who just make everything worse. They like went to go get frozen burritos because they're fucking stoned, and come back to use the microwave, and they just let the hand free,
and are very unconcerned by it.
Then I was like, "What was that?"
Well, there's even because
whatever.
Well, because like the hand cooks a bit and there's blood splurting and everything, and they walk up.
That was a really cool scene, watching the hand bubble. And
some like the special effects in these. There were some cool for how old the movie is too. You're like, oh, that's.
I guess I feel like they did a lot of it's in camera, I believe. Except for like the obviously like the hand walking all around on its own.
Yeah.
And a handful of Penub's head like moving around and whatnot.
Yeah, like them picking it up off the table or whatever.
Another great absurd point of their friendship when Mick gets the
barbecue skewer,
sticks it into his head, puts it on top of the body. God damn.
Well, it's just like their back to backs are great. Like even when they walk up to the microwave to make these burritos right before they let the hand out, and Nub was like, "Oh, should we clean it?" And Seth Green's like, "Yeah, we should. Let's clean the whole fucking house too while we're at it. It's not our fucking mess." And then they open it up.
Yep.
Gets out and they just throw the burrito. And then that was pretty funny. The movie was successfully really gross.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably the grossest part for the entire movie for me was when Penub is eating the burrito and it's leaking out of his neck. Yeah, that was really gross.
I do like that Seth Green too. I almost keep calling him Seth Rogen. I like that Mick is just like, "Oh, that's disgusting." Like,
yeah.
It's like I really enjoyed them. I think, and I feel like they might have had a lot of fun doing it.
I bet they did. It's also it's like really just watching two friends hang out and just like being like stupid with each other, but then in the unreal circumstance, like, oh, they're both undead. Yeah. So like, what would be the undead stuff that they would like be dealing with as like stoners? Yeah. So then finally, let's actually really quick talk about Debbie LaCure, the druid priestess.
Yeah. Okay.
Because Vivica A. Fox plays her, and her character, it's very short-lived for the entire film, but her character is really the most vital to like stopping this whole thing.
She's a demon hunter.
Yeah, she's
basically.
But yeah, I forgot to write down the full thing, but like she has this like whole interaction with Randy at a bowling alley. She's like searching across the country for this specifically this possessing hand, this like entity that possesses hands only that they don't really ever talk about, but you just have to kind of like allude to.
Yeah, you just kind of go, okay,
because the first scene you see her in is like she's in some like penitentiary. In some other state.
She's like in a jail, dressed up as a nun.
Yeah, dressed up as a nun. She goes to like find who's the like where's the convict and whatnot, and he's in there, and then she just does like a close up on his face and goes down to his hand, and his hand's all like shriveled and deflated looking, and she's like, "Fuck," and like has to like, and it's like, and then she goes into her car and you find out she's not a nun and blah blah blah. She has a bunch of costumes. It's like you don't know what she is until I think I actually wrote it down. I think an hour into the film.
Yeah, and she's just hunting around the country for this. Basically, this hand is like doing ritualistic sacrifices for an unannounced reason, other than to kill people.
Yeah, where did I write it down? Whatever. But yeah, it's like 1 hour into the film is like you find out like, oh, she's actually druid priestess. Yeah. And then she's the one that actually saves the day at the end as well.
Oh yeah, but actually just like funny too. Vivica A. Fox, I think this is interesting that I like to do the winner. She's credited for 208 titles.
Oh wow. And
then Seth Green comes in second at 193.
Is that just IMDb credits?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of Seth Green's credits are probably under like additional voices and like voice acting and whatnot.
Oh, no, a lot of them were.
Yeah,
from like Family Guy and Robot Chicken and stuff.
Well, I think even more than that. And I actually think Vivica A. Fox does some voice acting too. So.
Oh, I would believe that. Yeah, because even Seth Green, he's done a lot of voices. He's in like Star Wars Rebels and stuff like that.
But so I think this whole absurdity of this film, like, I think just the dance itself is absurd because it's like just. I like that they have that high school dance thing because it's a super unrealistic high school dance that's in every like 90s, 2000s.
Where you're like, have you ever been to a high school kind of like thing?
You know, it's like, why? How's like what high school hires a live band to like? I mean, like that.
I was gonna say, I mean, you could like a band of students.
Yeah,
like a garage band. Yeah, but
and
like
maybe they play a little bit, but they're not going to play the entire dance.
Yeah, it's the Offspring.
Yeah. Also, Jessica Alba's dancing was super awkward.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was
a lot of twirly hand.
Yeah, it's like, what are you dancing to? There's punk music.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like she's like doing this like interpretive, surreal, ethereal kind of dancing to like punk music. It was really weird.
When Devon, Vivica A. Fox trying to kill Anton, or Debbie trying to kill Anton was fucking hilarious. Like, because you have this whole feeling that like Debbie's like trying to come to like save him, maybe like, you know, like
exorcise the demon
and whatnot.
Yeah.
And the first thing she does when she finds out that he's the one that's been possessed, she's like, "I'll kill you now!" Like tries to kill him.
Well, I like that too when she's talking. Well, like that whole scene too with Randy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Randy. Number one, why'd she go to a bowling alley to look for the demon?
I don't know. They don't really set that up.
I was like, this is, it's literally just to have these two characters meet, and they're like, cool, let's have them meet in a bowling alley.
And then their interaction was super weird. Yeah. Like how quickly he's just like, that makes sense.
I actually was like, I mean, if you had if you came up to me and you were talking about some crazy devil shit with your hand, and then a few hours later, a complete random stranger comes up and is bringing up possessed devil hands, I'd be like, I would bring it up to that person and be like,
but like I got a friend.
Yeah, why don't we go talk to him?
So yeah, the high school scene, a lot of that. I mean, it also that was pace. This movie strangely has a really good pacing for being only an hour and a half. A lot actually happened in it, and it didn't. But it had like a stoner like pacing to it.
That's
you know
the thing.
I mean?
Is yeah, like a lot happens, but I don't. Like I was saying earlier too, I found the pacing really bizarre.
No, that's what I mean. Because like it doesn't like it was easy to digest. You know,
it was like an off-tempo song. It was like I just found it so I don't know. I found it really really weird.
Because like Tanya's death was super fucking cool. I wish we would have seen more of that. Like when she gets hung by the But I think when the absurdity really reaches its max is at the end. Well, first, like the hand like sharpening its fingers with the pencil sharpener.
That was so cool.
That was super cool. Which that's super absurd.
That was I really dug.
Also,
that.
if you really want to think about, like, this hand kind of goes through a transformation of its own, becoming more evil and more evil and more evil.
Yeah,
in an absurd way, because it's just at first just possessed on Devon Sawa, and then it becomes free, liberated from its host, and it has its own like time there, and then it you see it kind of slowly decaying. It looks like.
Well, being nuked in a microwave would probably do that.
Oh yeah, exactly. So yeah, no, then it gets fried, but still alive. Sharpens its fingers to like the claw point, and then my favorite was when it entered that weird fucking puppet.
I wrote a note about that. Do you think they should have done that earlier?
No.
I kind of wish they had done that earlier.
I mean, it is very short lived, which I mean, but like what they ended up doing when they had it finally in that little puppet is that it became more like animated human like.
Yeah,
like its hands were like the arms of the puppet were its control. Like it actually, it was a hand actually like acting like a puppet.
Yeah,
as opposed to a hand acting like a
spider.
A spider hand. Yeah. So I think it fit for what it was doing at that point, and also it's just stupid and ridiculous for it to get to that point as well. That it's now in a fucking puppet.
Yeah.
Trying to crush Jessica Alba with a car going up to the ceiling.
Yeah, that was
also great thing that what saves the day is Anton taking a hit off the bong and blowing it into the puppet to demobilize the hand because the hand just like gets too much smoke in it because the hand can breathe.
There's a lot of these moments that kind of make me think of like a kind of like a almost like a Dogma kind of sense of humor.
Oh, really? Like just dark or like
No, like the movie Dogma.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Like it seems like a Jay and Silent Bob kind of thing to do. even
I mean,
the joke they make about
Kevin Smith writes for stoners, so
yeah.
I mean, it's more like this world. This movie lives in its own absurdity of its own world.
Well, I do like that. Nub is like, I need my spinach or something, right?
Oh, yeah,
He makes like a Popeye reference
Yeah.
before he takes a hit. Like, I thought that was funny.
And then the hand jumping out, and then Vivica A. Fox, like the hand jumping at what was it? Just jumping at Mick, or I don't know. It was just like jumping through the air.
Yeah, no. So
it was jumping at Anton, and then the knife caught it, and then
yeah, no, because Anton was going to grab a hammer because the handle was jammed, right?
yeah.
So he went to grab a hammer to do that. Then the hand lunges at him. Debbie comes out, throws the knife, and pins the hand's center palm into Mick's chest.
And
then it
I
just,
love it.
It just disintegrates, kind of like
it just poof.
yeah, it disintegrates like a blade vampire.
Kind of.
Just ash.
Yeah, it was just like super anticlimactic, and then Mick even points it out. He's like, "Really? That's it?
Nothing. Just
No fiery hell or
screeching or anything like that. Okay,
all right.
whatever.
Oh, which I fucking loved.
Yeah, I thought that was really funny.
Yeah.
And then fucking Anton just puts the hammer back down.
Yeah,
Which I was like, focus. You needed that hammer.
I think it was grabbing the hammer for the hand, not for the switch.
Oh, I thought it was for the switch.
No, it was for the hand because then he tried to like do the switch and like that was jammed, so he just like cuts Jessica Alba down.
Yeah, with the knife. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which this I liken this point to like Chekhov's gun. Do you remember that? That term?
Yeah, you've mentioned it before.
So it's like at the beginning of a story or a play, like if there is a gun introduced, then it must go off at some point in the story. So kind of like the setting it like we have been set up that there is someone that's going to get crushed by this car, and it's stopped, and this car is now set up for something. So it was very satisfying for that car to actually come down and crush Anton.
That was another what the fuck moment for me.
Yeah. No, exactly.
What the fuck?
No, exactly. It was like what the fuck, but it was set up, and then just like this movie just needs to keep building and building and building on itself,
Yeah.
So and it's got to still have a happy ending, but like
I kind of wish it didn't.
You think you just gotta hope
I would have thought that was funny as hell. Like I feel like that would have been really fitting for that movie too.
Yes. I don't know. Actually, no, I don't agree with that because I think what's fitting is the fact that he survives and he's in a full body cast. Because like this movie kind of has like a weird like he keeps watching cartoons. This movie has an entire like cartoon feel to it.
Yeah. Okay, I can see that. Yeah.
So like him being the hero and him being alive at the end, still just being crushed but still alive, is even funnier because he should be dead. Why isn't he dead?
Oh, like a Wile E. Coyote kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, that's true. I didn't think about it that way.
And then the friends just keep coming back. They just keep coming back.
I could have done without that.
Them being the guardian angels.
Yeah.
I don't know because like them having the I'm under the bed thing. That was the good like button for the end like
full circle done. Yeah. This is kind of jumping back, but I just thought of it. Oh, good. Something that just popped in my head was, I like that when Anton starts. I think it's like when he starts it's when he thinks the killer's in the house, not realizing that he's possessed yet. Then it comes into everything happens, and it becomes starts becoming aware about. His hand possession is what's killing people. And at first he starts to try to blame it on his two Mick and Nub telling him to smoke oregano and nutmeg.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You're the one that made me smoke that shit. I don't know why, but that really got me. It was
also, like, the fact that dude, okay, yeah, that's right. Because the introduction of the cops, they bully him, which was fucking so stupid.
I thought that was pretty funny.
I mean, it was funny.
Did you ever ask us to go smoke weed behind the gym? No, you guys are dorks. was like, at least he's honest.
And then he's like trying to score weed from the cops. Like, are you really?
I know you got an evidence locker and you can get in there. Like, are you seriously trying to score from us right now?
But like when he goes back and like him actually smoking nutmeg and oregano, like,
I seriously started to gag thinking about it. I've never done that, but I had heard about people doing that.
It was probably from that movie.
Probably.
Because that's definitely not a thing.
Yeah, I've heard people.
I've had a friend give me a little bowl of oregano, telling me that it was just shake, and I was like, okay, just as a joke, and it fucking sucked.
Yeah.
And they're like, that's oregano, you fucking idiot. I'm like, why would you do this to me?
Yeah, that sounds really. It made me gag a little bit. Like, I just kind of feel it, the tickle in my throat.
But then he's rolling the joint with the ticket the cops wrote him.
Yeah, and then also he doesn't lick it; he makes his dog lick it.
He makes his dog lick it. Also, Duke just disappeared at one point. Like Bones got thrown out the window.
Yeah, that's actually true. Duke, yeah,
his dog is just gone. Also, that dog was so cute.
That was a very cute dog. I didn't realize that. Yeah, at a certain point, the dog's just because they're in the house for a little bit after that, and the dog's just not ever brought up ever again.
It's like after the scene in the bed, the dog is just never seen again.
I do like that he used Duke as like a human shield.
Yeah, right.
He like pushed him out first when he's hiding from the killer.
The killer that is him.
Yeah.
The whole like reveal of the parents and like the build up to revealing that he was the killer, I thought that was actually pretty good. Because it was like stupid at the same point, like them piecing it together slowly.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is like also with the review with from Ebert said too, the whole like kind of taking bits and pieces.
Yeah,
thing,
and that's what I was talking about with my beginning of my review. Is like it hits all the horror like points of horror movies.
Yeah, well, it's like what you were talking about with the parents too, like being hid as like Halloween decorations.
Yeah,
you could take something like that, and you could see it in like a Halloween movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a Michael Myers
or Scream.
Yeah. Like you could see that being put in, and with a context like that, it would have been super terrifying. But in this context, it's ridiculously stupid.
Exactly.
But if Michael Myers had done it or Ghostface had done it, that would have been horrific.
Yeah.
But this, you're like, the fuck?
Yeah.
That's your reaction. Not, oh, but, huh? Kind of like reaction to it. And that's what's really funny. It does have this really kind of like scrambled, chopped up trope to a lot of different horror movies. And it tops it off with ridiculous violence.
Yep.
Which it's Kill Bill, Mortal Kombat level of violence, where it's
like ridiculous blood splatter that wouldn't really happen in reality.
Yeah,
it's like in which like a lot of horror films kind of like lean into that, but in just different ways.
Yeah.
But this one is definitely it's almost B movie style.
Yeah, I would say that like it's just over the top ridiculousness. Yeah.
Anything you didn't really like about the movie?
I mean, I didn't love it. I think my biggest thing, I really enjoyed it, but I think my biggest issue was the Anton Molly thing.
That whole relationship, it's super one-dimensional.
And it's like
her character is super like her character's entire existence is reliant on Anton.
Yeah, and so her character is kind of annoying.
Even like the little like thing of like she's been writing songs and she's
that seemed like a really
her character is just so not fleshed out.
Yeah, it was like a really poor. It was a really poor way of trying to give her something interesting about her. And to me, it's like, and I don't want to criticize. I mean, I'm not a fucking screenplay writer, and I'm not a professional writer or anything of those means. But it just seems like a really in my opinion, I feel like that really could have been fixed pretty easily. You could have made them friends. She was the girl next door.
Yeah.
You could have made them had a relationship prior to that, and then this situation flushes out to them getting romantic or something. I don't know. But
I know exactly what you're saying. And it's definitely one of the biggest, like, if not the biggest, like, misstep of this movie.
It's like
but there's just a lot of like film just around this time was like, especially like writing for teen comedy, like girls and like women in general are literally just written as objects, like.
Yeah, especially in this.
And that's a 100% that what Jessica Alba was being used as in this, because she's pretty, she's kind of quirky, and like her and she's just running around in like nothing almost the entire movie.
Yeah, that's true. She's
like the most covered up she is at the very beginning when she's introduced riding on that like
on a bicycle,
the moped or whatever, the motorbike.
Motorbike, yeah. Other than that, she's wearing no pants pretty much the entire movie.
It's like booty shorts and like a tank top
and like a nightie.
And then the next time you see her, she's in her like little like angel, her sexy angel outfit, which then gets
is like a nightie,
which gets ripped off. And then she's just in her bra and
underwear. Yeah. Oh wait, there was. Oh, what was the friend's name that died? Tamara, Tanya. Forgot the T right. Just that in a really morbid, dark way, that whole scene made me laugh after she was killed because of the two friends, Mick and Nub.
Oh, when they're like going through the vents trying to find her to save her.
Yeah, and like Nub's all like really hurt because he had a little crush on this girl.
Hey man, if you get back there, you can get a piece.
Yeah, like you're definitely not getting the action now. Hey, if you want to go back there, you can definitely get a piece. I did a
yeah,
kind of laugh.
I wonder how many of those were actually like improv by Seth Green.
I wonder,
like how much of that was in the script or him just being clever, because he's a super clever dude.
He's a very clever dude. Yeah, and just back to sorry for the random anecdote, but like just back to, and not saying that I don't want her in the movie. She didn't need to be.
Tanya?
Molly. Molly.
Yeah, no, exactly.
You could have done the story without any kind of love interest whatsoever, and it would have been just fine.
Well, I mean, I guess like other than like it turned in like the hand is going after her to like get back at Anton type thing.
Well, because the whole idea is the hand wants to take an innocent soul to hell.
Yeah, that's right.
But you just a little bit tweak. You could have made it that Anton was the last in the line, and he was going to be the one to go to hell. But then when he chops it off, now the hand's coming after him. You could have just.
But with it being like no, and I totally get what you're saying, and I agree. It's just at during this time and like for this style of movie, I know their whole thing is like, well, there needs to be the female love interest.
There needs to be the girl.
Yeah, there needs. Yeah, that becomes the damsel in distress, and it's not. It's formulaic writing of a very specific time.
Yeah.
You know? And which it's not surprising that she is literally just a one-dimensional object in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was my only real big problem, because other than that, it's just a fun violence stoner.
Oh yeah, 100%
flick.
I actually think it actually deserves a higher rating.
Absolutely not.
Oh yes,
I don't think so. I think it's sitting pretty where it is.
What is it? 6.1?
6.2, I think.
You give it like a 6.8. I mean, it's not like
6.8.
No, not higher than a 7, but it could. I know. I think it's really good. Okay.
Oh yeah, what did you think? What did you hate? What did you?
I mean, definitely the Molly, like that whole that was the whole thing. Randy kind of like I wasn't really my favorite character.
Also kind of unnecessary.
He wasn't again like his whole like necessity was to meet Debbie LaCure to then bring her to Anton.
I guess, but
so like I mean that's kind of like his whole like he's a very one-dimensional character as well, because they could have just like had it be it could just completely live for different, like as she gets into town she's like somehow like can like feel or not feel, she can find the hand or Anton in a different way. Follow like a blood trail or follow like and maybe there needed to be more deaths, and she was following the deaths coming down the street.
That would have been funny.
Yeah, actually, oh my god,
that would have been funny if it was like completely like again going back to the over the top, a lot of deaths, and she was just basically following the breadcrumbs.
Yeah, exactly.
That would have been pretty funny and it's funny, and we say that in the sense this is a dark comedy. Yeah, it's supposed to be twisted and weird.
There could have been fun humor to play up into that.
Yeah. Definitely.
So. Because I liked the absurdity of W. Cure's character. I did want there to be more flushed out.
Now it's time for the ritualistic sex.
Yeah,
that was a very National Lampoon joke right there.
It was, but it's also I think very fitting for the movie.
Yeah,
just like it's just because it's absurd, it's out of left field, and it's a quick fun punch.
Yeah, it just makes me laugh too because that's her last line in the movie. And scene. Yep. Okay. Have a good day, Vivica. Thank you.
But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a movie that fits well for this time of year for Halloween.
Yeah, I would definitely. I mean, don't let your kids watch it.
No.
And go in go in expecting something silly and
It's definitely it's fun to like have playing in the background around this time of year.
Yeah.
If you're having like a party with friends or whatnot, or like maybe a casual viewing with friends, you get high, you get drunk, stuff like that.
Yeah, no, definitely. You don't need to like pay. Yeah, you don't have to pay too much attention. Sorry, I got totally.
Yeah,
you don't have to pay like too much attention to it, and it is just kind of fun. It's also kind of fun because it is old enough now. It's nice to see them as babies.
Yeah,
you're like,
totally.
Oh, look.
Also, it's really like Devon Sawa didn't really do much after Final Destination. I feel like this is the peak of his career is around this time.
Yeah, he didn't really.
And yeah, because like Seth Green, Eldon Henson, and Jessica Alba all went off to do a lot more. Vivica Fox already had a name for herself.
Yeah, I mean, Vivica Fox.
Yeah.
Did this come out after Independence Day or before?
After. Independence Day is like 1996.
Is it? Like, okay, I was going to say like 96, 97?
Yeah.
Huh, God. She's pretty.
Yeah, she is. She's very
pretty.
All right. Well, I think that's all we have to say about Idle Hands.
I think so.
We really enjoyed it. And this kind of wraps up our Halloween, our spooky time. Oh, no, it doesn't. We got one more. We got our side B next week.
Yeah, we're doing our side B next week. So go ahead and check that out. We're going to be talking about probably more spooky video games and some other stuff that we might end up watching in this next coming week, and just some recommendations for things for y'all to check out. You can go on our website, TommyandJacobsMixtape.com.
And you check out our episodes there. We also got a Mr. Big, what is it?
Mr. Big's Big News, which will be just a blog that will be written about some things that we weren't able to touch base on here, or just...
or if like it's stuff, maybe like we did a list of movies like in a side B, we'll like just have it there for you to like do a quick reference if you wanted to like take,
think of it as the companion. If you want to check that out, just go ahead and take a look at it.
We have our YouTube channel, which is Tommy and Jacob's Mixtape as well. If you could find that, like and subscribe. We'll be doing audiograms with our podcast on that, so if you want to have it playing in the background or anything, you can just YouTube it. And we today will be releasing it on an RSS feed, and we'll figure out which podcast platforms that'll be released on. Yeah, and we'll probably just update that in the blog.
Yes, we'll do that in the blog, and then we also have an Instagram that you can follow.
Instagram,
TJ's Mixtape.
And then also Facebook. We have a Facebook page. If you could like, we'll do updates between both Instagram. Oh, the Facebook page is Tommy and Jacob's Mixtape. Mm-hmm. You know what we're named.
Yeah, just a lot of it's either Tommy and Jacob's Mixtape or TJ's Mixtape. One of those will definitely take you to it. And if we're all over the place, basically.
Yeah. And follow us on Instagram, Facebook for updates. And
cool. I think that's it.
Yeah. Thank you everybody for listening.
Thank you for listening, everybody. Yeah. Happy Spookies.
Spooky.
This isn't Domino's, bitch.